We're talking about shellac and nitro. I thought we'd look at a bona fide antique because it seems like when people like the way nitro ages, that's really what they're talking about is antiques. And we probably all got antiques in our house, and I've got a few. This is a reed organ I wanted to show you, and it was done in shellac, which is very similar to nitro. And let's look at the wood a little bit. Well, I thought we'd look at this quickly. It's not a guitar, but it is a reed organ. My dad gave me this reed organ, my beloved late father. His aunt gave it to him. It's a 1906 reed organ. And the reason we're looking at this is because this would have been done in shellac. Now, nitrocellulose was invented a little after World War I and mostly replaced shellac. And it's very similar to shellac, I think. So it has some of the same properties. But you'll see the kind of aging of that, and it kind of makes it beautiful. You see the kind of the way it's kind of, you see the woods kind of come out over the years. But the part in particular that kind of is telltale is if you look here, you can see, so there's a ring from someone leaving a glass there. And I can tell you that was my Aunt Dora, an old lady that when I was a boy, very nice old lady, and during one Christmas, she put a glass of punch up there. And that kind of, it looks kind of handy, doesn't it? It looks like, well, that's kind of a nice little place to put a glass of punch. And my dad was too polite and respected his elders. He was too polite to ask her to not put it there. There was no coaster, and it made that ring. Now, that is actually kind of characteristic of the shellac or nitrocellulose type of finish in that it ages. And by the way, in general, you can see the way the wood's aged over the years. See, polyurethane, I think, will do that some over a really long time, but certainly not as much, and it certainly takes a lot longer. So that actually is cool. The ring, I know my dad tried, after she left, he tried for a while to get it off, and he never was ultimately successful. But if you look, you can just see the way the wood in this antique is so beautiful. But it's aged. It doesn't look like it's brand new anymore, which it's not. It's over 100 years old. So nitrocellulose, which is like shellac, will do that. So that kind of aging of the wood, it's still beautiful, and in some ways it's more beautiful. And you can see that all over this beautiful reed organ. But that shows you the kind of instability or the fragile nature of the finish. So, an old lady left a glass of Christmas punch up there for an hour or two, and it made that mark, and it's never gone away. And that says a lot about shellac, which is, again, kind of a lot like nitro, from what I understand. So I think that's one of the things, in so many words, that makes some people prefer nitro is it ages. And let's face it, there's an antique market, right? Antiques are expensive. People like antiques. If antiques that are well kept, but they have that old look, that's what you want. You don't want it to look like an antique. You don't want it to be all beat up, but you also want it to look like it's old. And some of the older finishes are going to do that more than the polyurethane.